Hello, people of Zarpado. Do you want to know 400 curious facts in about an hour? Well, stay and we will tell you about them. Let's start. These are special cages used by National Geographic and BBC cameramen to closely and safely capture the movements and behaviors of bears. Watch as a mother bear and her two cubs put this technology to the test. It takes nerves of steel to be in there. In some medical centers, virtual reality glasses are used to distract children during injections. An animated character places a magic gem on the child's arm right at the moment of the injection, distracting him from the pain. And the best thing is that when the glasses are removed, they have the mark of the gem to take the experience to another level. What appear to be leaves floating in the water are actually fish known as leaf fish. Their camouflage is surprising and effective. And of course, they couldn't have any other name, could they? Catasetum orchids have a peculiar way of reproducing. When a pollinating insect enters its flower, a sac of pollen with a sticky pad is launched towards the insect so that it spreads it on female flowers. Samsung is developing robots to help with household chores. Bob Handy is one of them and can set the table, load the dishwasher, pick up dirty clothes, and store provisions. I think it will be the new best friend for many. The Spark system is a backpack with an inflatable parachute that guarantees a safe fall from up to 1,093 yards. It weighs only 55 pounds and allows landings on land and water surfaces. The Apis dorsata laboriosa, also known as the Himalayan honeybee, is the largest in the world, measuring up to 1.18 inches long. During mating season, bald eagles perform pirouettes in the air as part of their courtship, interlocking their talons and spinning together. I think men should learn from them. The city of Saint-Malo in France has the highest tides in all of Europe. The houses act as protective barriers and are fitted with reinforced four-pane glass windows. Mount Thor in Canada has the longest vertical drop in the world, at over 3,280 feet high. I know many who wouldn't even dare to visit this place. Artist Carl Johnson is known for creating silhouettes of people's profiles without them noticing, using scissors with great skill. Dark Young has designed a unique speaker that uses ferrofluid to visualize musical patterns in response to sound waves. In 2010, the Windows Phone team held a funeral for the iPhone, believing that their product would outsell Apple. Ironically, today the Windows Phone is no more. In Japan, there is a Pokemon fossil museum inspired by the video game, which can be visited virtually from anywhere in the world. In Sweden, banana and kiwi are used as toppings on pizzas, while in other parts of the world, pineapple on Hawaiian pizza is still a topic of debate. There is quite a difference between pineapple and banana. Scientists have discovered a caterpillar called Rhodina veracunda that makes a squealing sound when touched as a defense mechanism. The Airspace Line's Super Guppy cargo plane is used by NASA to transport rockets and other bulky equipment, standing out for its ability to carry large payloads. Whale tracking devices are now placed non-invasively by drones, which simply drop the device with suction cups when the whales come up for air. Keyhole clouds are a rare weather phenomenon that resemble a horizontal tornado. They hold their shape for just a few minutes before dissipating. The world's saddest-looking fish, known as Argyropolicus, looks like a lost soul, wandering in the ocean depths. Just looking at it makes me sad. While most people can't stand the sight of a cockroach, Shelby Counterman cares for more than 4,000, even making them costumes and treating them like dolls. Paintings by Frida Kahlo and Picasso were X-rayed to reveal what the artists had painted before creating their final work. How about that? This snake-faced man has green eyeballs tattooed on his eyes. He developed the technique himself and claims it's safe. With the idea of never being left without Wi-Fi again, Raul Santiago quit his job to live as a digital nomad, traveling and working from different places. The dream job. Astronauts use solar panels to recharge their suit's energy when they are on the moon. It is done using a technique that allows each suit to have 36 hours of autonomy, and I guess it charges very quickly. In case you didn't know, bats take a head-to-toe bath. Yes, while hanging upside down, they just let gravity do its work. Talk about extreme comfort. In California's National Park, there's a sequoia called Hyperion that stands 379 feet tall, 65 feet taller than the Statue of Liberty. Don't forget to look up if you visit, or you'll miss the ceiling of the forest. These old stinky Nike sneakers sold for a staggering $437,500. They were the brand's first model. Imagine how much they would have been worth if they smelled brand new. This tiny bridge, which separates Spain from Portugal, measures just 10.5 feet, or about 5 steps. It's perfect for those who want to travel to another country without breaking walking records. Deer shed their antlers in a process called demogue, at least once a year. Although it may look impressive, it's completely painless for them. It's like us changing hats. Although they move slowly on land, sloths swim 3 times faster. They can hold their breath for up to 40 minutes by lowering their heart rate. In the 1700s, pineapples were so rare that a single one could cost up to $8,000. They weren't eaten. They were used as a symbol of wealth. Today, pineapples are the real tropical gems. Cosmin del Sol, a weightlifter, suffered the largest bruise when he tore his pectoral muscle trying to break the world bench press record. That's a true championship bruise. This is how a mosquito finds and punctures a blood vessel. It can suck blood for 4 minutes. And you thought straws were annoying? In Algarrobo, Chile, there is a pool containing 250 million liters of purified seawater. It's so big that you'd need 100 Olympic swimming pools to fill it. On Mars, Olympus Mons rises to 15 miles, 3 times higher than Mount Everest. It's the perfect place for a spacewalk if you're feeling adventurous. This little video snippet is all that remains of the world's oldest film, recorded in 1888, a true treasure of cinema before special effects existed. Banana trees bend due to negative phototropism. Instead of growing towards the ground, they turn towards the sun in search of light. In Colombia, a palm tree reaches 194 feet in height. Normal palm trees are around 98 feet meters, so this is a true giant of nature. Ideal for professional palm climbers. Oh, they don't exist? Changing the oil in a Bugatti Veyron costs between $20,000 and $25,000. With that, you could buy 1 or even 2 new cars and not have to worry about the oil. The deepest hole ever dug on Earth is just over 7.45 miles long. If the Earth were an onion, it would have barely broken through the first layer of its skin. Did you know that freezer edges are used to store meat trays upright? A kitchen hack that will leave you cold. This castle was built from a single grain of sand. Looks like there are architects with a lot of free time and an incredible eye. A white dwarf star called Lucy has crystallized into a diamond larger than Earth. Astronomers named it after the Beatles song, "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds." A woodpecker's tongue extends from its skull, wrapping around its brain. So instead of its tongue hanging out, it's wrapped tightly around it. This shark was discovered in the Gulf of Mexico and is just 5.51 inches long. If the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs had hit 30 seconds later, it would have fallen into the ocean, possibly saving them from extinction. Dinosaurs could have had a bright future. This Egyptian dress, made of over 7,000 individual pieces, was found in a tomb in Giza. Ancient Egyptian fashion sure had details. From a young age, samurai were taught to go to the bathroom with one leg out of their pants, so as not to compromise their mobility in case of attack. The stripes and spots on cats' fur grow from their skin. Even if you shaved off all their fur, you'd still see them. They always carry their style with them. This 17th century pencil was found on the roof of a house and is now part of Faber-Castell's private collection. It looks like someone stopped doing their homework and forgot about it for centuries. Mustard can help fight cramps by activating nerve receptors that distract your nervous system. Next time you feel a cramp, think of a hot dog. This is how 13th century Europeans imagined African animals. Crocodiles, lions, and elephants painted based on stories of explorers. The most expensive internet domain was sold for $872 million. www.cars.gov. 16% of women are born blonde, but 33% of them are blonde. The sun releases more energy in 1 second than all the energy consumed by humanity since its beginning. Napoleon Bonaparte calculated that the stones used in the construction of the Egyptian pyramids would be enough to build a huge wall around France. The letter J is the only one not listed on the periodic table. It seems that chemistry is not a fan of Joseph-type first names. The easiest way to tell a carnivore from an herbivore is by looking at their eyes. Carnivores, dogs, lions, have them at the front to locate their prey. Herbivores, birds, rabbits, have them on the sides to detect predators. A person blinks about 25,000 times a week, and then we wonder why we get so tired of watching the series in one sitting. CDs were designed to hold 72 minutes of music because that's the length of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Lightning kills more people than volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. Lightning is more deadly than we think. It's not just for horror movies. The strongest material created by nature is the spiderweb, and yet we still fight with kitchen paper that doesn't tear. Russians answer the phone by saying, "I'm listening." It seems Russians don't have time for hello, zranya. They get straight to the point. 15% of American women send themselves flowers on Valentine's Day. Before World War II, there were 22 Hitler surnames in the New York City telephone directory. By the end of the war, there were none left. If heart disease, cancer, and diabetes were eradicated, the human life expectancy would be 99.2 years. Before 1800, shoes for the left and right feet were the same. Imagine the relief of discovering that we had 2 different feet. Einstein was never a good student and didn't even speak well at age 9. His parents thought he was mentally retarded. And then he revolutionized physics. Sometimes beginnings aren't what they seem. The Atlantic Ocean is saltier than the Pacific. The elephant is the only animal with 4 knees. That's why they master the elephant walk like no one else. 1 drop of oil can turn 25 liters of potable water into undrinkable water. A reminder that we must take care of our natural resources. Hair grows faster at night, and we lose an average of 100 hairs a day. Donald Duck cartoons were banned in Finland because he didn't wear pants. It seems that in Finland, the dress code applies to everyone, even cartoons. A sneeze travels from your mouth and nose at 600 miles per hour. You're enjoying it, right? Give it a like and we'll continue right away. Studies show that 100 cups of coffee consumed within a 4-hour period can cause death. There are only 3 animals with blue tongues: the chow chow dog, the blue-tongued lizard, and the black bear. Ants don't sleep. Now we know why they always seem so busy. Every year, 98% of the atoms in the human body are replaced. We are literally not the same person we were last year. Blonde people have more hair than dark-haired people. Another reason to envy blondes, besides their popularity in movies, there are more cars in the city of Los Angeles than people. That's why traffic in Los Angeles is so famous. Insects are attracted to people who have just eaten a banana. The American state with the most national parks is Alaska, with 8 in total. All gondolas in Venice, Italy, must be painted black, except for those of high-ranking officials. Black is the new symbol of exclusivity. The first movie to have a sequel was King Kong in 1933. The sequel was called Son of Kong and came out the same year. Although it may seem impossible, the most common name in the world is Muhammad. More common than John, Joseph, and Mary combined. Napoleon Bonaparte was born with only 26 teeth. Maybe that's why he smiled less than other leaders. In the United States, there are more plastic flamingos than real ones. The city of Istanbul is the only one in the world whose territory is located on 2 different continents, Europe and Asia. 1 foot on each continent, literally. The average weight of an iceberg is 20 million tons. Now we know why they are so difficult to move. And yes, I know you remember Titanic. The Colombian coat of arms includes a map of Panama, remembering the shared history of both countries. Cats and dogs, like humans, can be left or right-handed. The next challenge is to teach them to write. Men use an average of 15,000 words per day, while women use around 30,000. No wonder you sometimes need to pause to listen. Months that start on a Monday will always have a Friday the 13th. Penguins don't fly because they're cold. In that fancy suit, they prefer to glide. The Coca-Cola bottle was originally green. Fashion changes, but the taste remains the same. The city with the most Rolls-Royces per capita is Hong Kong. The American state with the highest percentage of people who walk is Alaska. 80% of American men say they would marry the same woman if they had to do it over again. True love still exists. 50% of American women say they would marry the same man if they had to do it over again. It seems that men are doing a good job. Maybe the neighborhood would be even more vibrant. This is the longest passenger truck in the world. It measures 33.57 yards and can carry up to 256 people. Did you know that Eminem has his own brand of pasta sauce called Mom's Spaghetti? Yes, just like the verse in his song, Lose Yourself. There's a town in Massachusetts called Sandwich, and its cars bear the motto Sandwich Police. We don't know if they serve sandwiches to offenders, but at least the people there have an insatiable appetite for puns. This is the world's largest Tesla light show. 687 cars took part, and this is what it looked like from the ground. Watch astronauts on the Artemis mission rehearse the flag raising on the moon underwater, because it's the closest thing to lunar gravity. If your phone isn't ringing like it used to, the speakers may be clogged. Here's how to clean them. Think of it as giving your phone a spa, because even gadgets need to relax. This is what the Las Vegas sphere emoji looks like up close. A great little treat for those who always wanted to have Vegas in the palm of their hand. These are the sweet pizzas from Pizzas Patos, and the most popular one is the Ferrero Rocher one. Would you dare to try them? Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to be Superman and have lasers in your eyes? Well, Smith made it a reality with this pair of lasers that follow his eye movements. Watch out for light bulbs near him. Watch how he destroys these balloons just by looking at them. Duran Enriquez creates very original sneaker designs that he wishes existed, like those of Cheetos, Shrek, Vegeta from Dragon Ball, and Majin Buu. This is how they made the sound you hear when Mr. Krabs races in SpongeBob SquarePants. The blood in your body accounts for 7% of your total weight. If you put a selfie stick and a 360-degree camera on the trunk of your car, you'll get shots that look like they're straight out of a video game. This is what the eggs of some amphibians, like salamanders, look like. Did you know that there are tweezers to open your eyes? People use them to put in their contact lenses. They're jumbo dump, and they make sounds with their bellies and other objects. The sound of a drop hitting the surface of water never sounded so musical. The Greyhound is the fastest dog breed in the world and can run at speeds of up to 44 miles per hour. Le Colli is the oldest man to have a child. He got his wife pregnant at 92 and 10 months old. The Ayaida tribe, located in northwest Egypt, has a peculiar ritual to detect liars. Make the suspect lick a red-hot rod. If blisters appear on the tongue, he is guilty. If not, he is innocent. In 1915, San Diego, California, suffered heavy rains that caused massive flooding, allegedly caused by Charles Hatfield, a self-proclaimed rainmaker who released a chemical substance into the air. Slave-making ants capture and force other ants from different colonies to perform tasks like collecting food and digging tunnels. In Denmark, if you reach the age of 25 and are still single, you can be doused in ground cinnamon in an attempt to wish you luck in finding a partner. In 2017, a young man nearly died from suffocation due to this peculiar ritual. Chemotherapy can make your fingerprints disappear temporarily as a reversible side effect of drugs like capecitabine. Ovenbirds, birds from South America, build their nests using a mixture of mud, plants, and dung, creating sturdy structures that withstand heavy rains. Years later, they had to publicly apologize. Stefan Kurnetic posed as the Prince of Montenegro and Macedonia, fooling the European elite. Montenegro has had no royal family since 1918, and although Kurnetic was unmasked, he was never imprisoned. The impossible cube is a Rubik's cube whose faces change color depending on the viewing angle, making it extremely complicated to solve. The immortal jellyfish, also known as Turritopsis dohrnii, has the ability to reverse its life cycle, returning to its juvenile stage after reaching maturity. Contrary to popular belief, Elon Musk did not found Tesla. The real founders were engineers Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning in 2003. Musk joined later, investing massively. In 1980, Kumar Anandan spent 72 hours in a cabin with 72 poisonous snakes, emerging unscathed. The deep purple black diamond apple is grown exclusively in the mountains of Tibet at more than 9,842 feet above sea level. In 2000, Blockbuster turned down a $50 million buyout of Netflix. Today, Netflix is worth an estimated $250 billion. The scorpion beetle is the only known insect that can inject toxins through its antennae. Nature always finds innovative ways to defend itself and survive. The oldest house in New York, built in 1650, is now a museum that tells the story of its first Dutch owners. Through the walls of this house, we can connect with an almost forgotten past. Female Komodo dragons can reproduce without the need for a male, thanks to parthenogenesis, and always produce male offspring. In a small Swiss town, it rained chocolate when a factory ventilation failure released cocoa particles into the air. In Japan, tunnels have been built under train tracks so that turtles can cross safely. Even the simplest solutions can save lives, showing respect for life in all its forms. In Oymyakon, one of the coldest places in the world, a marathon is held in conditions of up to minus 58 degrees Fahrenheit. The dog-headed spider is a species of arachnid that lives in the Amazon and whose head resembles that of a dog. A cloud can weigh more than 200 elephants due to its sheer size and the amount of water it contains, even though they appear light from the ground. In Japan, literally anyone can run for governor, and the law guarantees them a spot on TV to present their proposals. As you may have noticed, panda bears have those characteristic black patches around their eyes. Those patches aren't just a fashion statement, they are a means of communication and identification with each other. Here we have Skas, an artist who specializes in movement. Just look at the stiffness of his body. He looks like an action figure made of plastic. Did you know you can tell the ambient temperature by listening to a cricket chirp? Count how many times it chirps in 8 seconds and add 5. For example, if a cricket chirps 17 times, add 5, and you get 71.6 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the farthest backflip basketball shot ever achieved, performed by Will Bullard. Did you know that surgical lights don't cast visible shadows? Each light source emits rays from different angles, so if something blocks one angle, the remaining rays still illuminate the area. Watch sushi ramen use chemiluminescence to make a kamehameha. Remember those glow bracelets at parties? They're filled with a similar liquid. Did you know that it does you less harm to eat 2 burgers instead of 1 burger and fries? Burgers contain vegetables and are a more balanced meal, while fries only provide carbs, oil, and salt. The fastest internet in the world so far has a speed of 42 terabits per second. It's capable of downloading 50,000 gigabytes in just 1 second. In that time, you could download all the episodes of your favorite show. According to a study, people who fall asleep after 1 a.m. are more likely to develop depression and anxiety. Did you know there's such a thing as disco soccer? You have to score goals while dancing to the music. If you stop moving, you're disqualified. Some public bathrooms are equipped with timers that show how long a person has been in there. When they're empty, the sign turns green. This is Eddie Flexible, aka the man with no bones. It almost looks like their bones are made of rubber. This is how penalties were taken in the MLS in the 90s. Pretty weird, right? Running from midfield instead of kicking from the penalty spot. It was almost like a mini 1v1 ice hockey game. Pelicans have one of the most elastic mouths in the animal kingdom. They can hold up to 11 liters of water in their pouches. It's like they have a built-in water bottle. Did you know that if we took the 7 billion people on Earth and turned them into a single round mass, we would be like a giant meatball less than a kilometer in diameter? This is Manami Ono, a Japanese artist who transforms old Amazon boxes into incredible sculptures. From animals to the iconic Millennium Falcon ship, her creations have reached galleries in Japan and sell for more than 11,000 euros. Does this goal sound familiar to you? In 2016, during a Premier League match between Hull City and Leicester, players Abel Hernandez and Adama Diomande performed an incredible double overhead kick, similar to the one Oliver and Tom execute in Super Champions. Have you ever wondered why anime characters shout their attacks? It turns out that most anime started out as mangas, traditional Japanese comics. To make the action clearer in still images, the characters shout out their attacks. Check out this amazing flexible LED light bulb that has a 100% shatterproof silicone casing. Its creators claim it can last 13 years and stays cool to the touch, even after hours of use. Vietnamese artist Diep Thiao has an amazing skill. He drew the faces of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi at the same time. In this curious video, a gorilla at the Miami Zoo communicates in sign language with visitors, indicating that it is not allowed to be fed. This is what the National Mall looks like, a gigantic open-air temple in Washington, which honors those who died from COVID-19. Have you noticed the two black lines under the eyes of NFL players? These lines, known as eye black, serve to reduce the glare of the sun and the lighting of the stadiums. Check out this incredible animatronic figure created by the company Spirit Halloween. When activated, it sucks out the soul of its victim. Elijah G. Miller, a man who survived 3 decades with a bullet in his head, was hit during the American Civil War in 1863. This genius hacked Google's dinosaur game using a photoelectric sensor that automatically hits the spacebar when it detects a cactus, a trick so clever that even the T-Rex would clap his tiny hands. This is the tiny bus station inspired by the movie My Neighbor Totoro. It was built by 2 old men from Takaharu, Japan, as a gift for their granddaughters. This giant mechanical pencil created by Japanese company Sakura Craypass is so big that you have to rest the back half on your shoulder in order to write. Do you know the archer fish with its sheep's head and human teeth? Although its teeth are disturbing, these fish are harmless and pose no threat to people. Meet Ebo, the smart robot that takes care of and plays with your cat when you're not at home. It imitates the movements of a prey and makes sounds. A happy cat is an owner without destroyed furniture. This is the Eye of the Earth, an incredible freshwater spring in Croatia with a depth of 110 meters. It looks like a giant human eye. This fearless turtle is not afraid of anything. In this video, it is seen stealing food from an alligator, which does not seem to care at all. Is there a secret alliance between turtles and alligators? These are the first escalators installed in Cameroon. As we can see, they caused many minor accidents because most people had never used one before. Meet Noon, an exoskeleton that allows you to sit anywhere without needing a chair. It looks like magic, but it is pure technology. This is what a ladybug looks like taking flight in slow motion. Her wings are 4 times bigger than her body. Did you know that in Turkey they make coffee by heating it in the sand? The copper container called sezve is dipped in hot sand, a coffee with a taste of desert adventure. This adorable little dog interrupted a Bosnian league match, even managing to tunnel into one of the players. Canine footballer on the rise. This is Boster, a little dog who suffers from vitiligo. This disease causes the loss of color in the skin and hair. Look how he went from being completely black to practically white. Here you can see how the depigmentation progressed. In November 2021, he was almost all black. In August 2022, he already had some white spots, and by May 2023 and October 2023, the change was much more noticeable. This is what a goalkeeper looks like trying to stop 100 shots from outside the box. What intensity! Ever wondered how fast a snail moves? Just 0.03 miles per hour. This is what the world looks like from their point of view. In contrast, cheetahs can accelerate up to 18.6 miles per hour in a matter of seconds. This is one of the best commercials I've ever seen. It looks like cars entering this tunnel are being sucked into a giant vacuum cleaner. This is marketing at its finest. Take a look at the peculiar insect traps this artist has created. They're so artistic, I almost feel ashamed to use them. At the Peabody Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee, ducklings come down from their rooftop residence to the hotel fountain for a dip every day. This is how mapping services take photos of routes where cars can't access. A person carries a backpack with cameras. In South Korea, a curious little dog kept following one of these operators. You can see it in the photos of the entire journey. In this photo, you can see the solar eclipses that will occur in the next 40 years. Australia will be very busy. Elias Herrera shows us what it's like to live with a cow at home. His name is Bruce, and he apparently loves human food as much as any of us. Due to Japanese laws requiring married couples to share a single surname, it is estimated that by the year 2531, all Japanese people could share the same surname, Sato. Since 2022, James Earl Jones, the iconic voice of Darth Vader, has retired. Lucasfilms asked him for permission to use previous recordings and employ artificial intelligence to continue using his voice in the next installments of the saga. Watch how Walton Goggins is characterized for his role in the Fallout series. This is the final result. Current Concept built the world's fastest pencil sharpener. It takes less than a second to sharpen a pencil. But why would you need a pencil that fast? The Nile River is the longest river in the world, with a length of approximately 6,650 kilometers, and has been instrumental in the development of Egyptian civilization. Flamenco dance, originally from Andalusia, Spain, combines passion, rhythm, and body expression, and has been recognized as intangible cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO. Kangaroos are the only large animals that hop as their primary method of locomotion. Dean's Blue Hole is an underwater sinkhole located at Dean's Blue Hole in the Bahamas, which has a depth of over 202 meters and is the deepest known blue hole in the world. The Flag Monument is the tallest monument in Mexico and is located in the city of Monterrey. It is 70 meters high and is located in the Macro Plaza, one of the largest public squares in the world. The first gasoline-powered automobile was created by Carl Benz in 1885 and was known as the Benz Patent Motor Wagon. The first computer mouse was invented by Douglas Engelbart in 1964 and was called a mouse because of its tail-like shape and cable, and was made of wood. The world record for the person who has eaten the most hot dogs in a contest in 10 minutes is held by Joey Chestnut with 62 hot dogs. The first domain registered on the internet was symbolics.com on March 15, 1985. The kiwi, the national bird of New Zealand, is a nocturnal bird that cannot fly. The ENIAC computer, built in 1945, was so large that it took up a space of 167 square meters and weighed about 27 tons. Flamingos are white when they are born, and their pink pigmentation comes from carotenoids present in the food they eat. The name Bluetooth comes from Harald Bluetooth, a Viking king of Denmark, whose English translation is Blåtand, and was chosen as the name of the standard because of its ability to unite people, in the same way that the king united the Danish tribes. Human DNA is about 99.9% similar across all people, and only 0.1% differences are what make each individual unique. The Mozilla Firefox web browser got its name from the red panda, which in turn was named for its reddish color and resemblance to foxes. In Australia, there is a road called the Dingo Fence that stretches for over 3,480 miles, making it the longest fence in the world. Its purpose is to protect the country's inland livestock from wild dingoes. In Africa's Namib Desert, there are dunes that can reach heights of up to 300 meters, some of the highest in the world. The okapi, native to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, is the giraffe's closest living relative, even though it looks more like a zebra due to its stripes on its legs. In Iceland, there is a dating app called Íslendinga app that helps Icelanders avoid incestuous relationships by checking if they share distant ancestors. The bulldog ant has the strongest jaws of any animal relative to its size and can generate forces equivalent to more than 500 times its body weight. Newborn pandas are so small, they are lighter than a teacup. The bottlenose dolphin has the ability to sleep with one brain hemisphere at a time, allowing it to stay alert and breathe while resting. The Arc de Triomphe in Paris, built in 1836, honors those who fought and died for France during the Napoleonic Wars. The mimic octopus, a species of octopus, is known for its ability to mimic the appearance and behavior of other marine animals, such as sea snakes and flatfish, to protect itself from predators. The leech's saliva contains an anticoagulant substance that prevents the blood of their victims from clotting while they feed. The Tower of Pisa began to lean shortly after construction began in 1173 due to an unstable foundation on clay soil. The brown bat is known to be the longest-lived mammal in proportion to its size, living up to 41 years. The hen harrier, a bird of prey, is known for its ability to fly long migratory distances from the Arctic to southern South America. Switzerland is known for its political neutrality and has not been involved in any international military conflict since 1815. The Chinese Tiangong space station, launched in 2021, aims to establish a permanent space base for scientific experiments and Earth observations. Turkey is home to the Derinkuyu Cave, the world's largest underground city, which could house up to 20,000 people along with their livestock and supplies. India is the country with the most films produced in the world. Bollywood, the Indian film industry, produces more than 1,000 films a year. The dugong, a sea cow-like animal, is a herbivorous marine mammal found in tropical waters, feeding primarily on seagrass and can weigh up to 400 kilograms. The tuatara is a reptile endemic to New Zealand that is considered a living fossil, as it has changed very little from millions of years ago. It has a third eye on the top of its head that detects changes in light. The red-billed gull is a species of gull that has a bright red beak that helps them recognize each other during breeding season. The observable universe is approximately 93 billion light-years across. Ants do not have lungs. Instead, they breathe through small holes in their bodies called spiracles. The Great Fire of London in 1666 destroyed most of the city, but it also helped stop the spread of the bubonic plague that was ravaging the city at the time. The Battle of Stalingrad during World War II was the bloodiest in history, with more than 2 million dead and wounded. The asteroid that struck Earth approximately 66 million years ago in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, caused the extinction of non-avian dinosaurs. The Android operating system, initially developed by Android Inc., was acquired by Google in 2005 before its public release in 2008. In some European countries, such as Spain, the San Fermin festival is celebrated in Pamplona, known for bull runs. Wolves howl to communicate with other pack members and mark their territory. The Charleston rhythm is a jazz dance that originated in Charleston, South Carolina in the 1920s and was popularized in the United States during the Jazz Age. The world's most active volcano is Kilauea in Hawaii, which has been erupting almost continuously since 1983. The largest city in the world in terms of area is Ulaanbaatar, located in China. It covers an area of approximately 263.953 million square meters, which is larger than many countries. Originally from Guangdong province in China, dim sum is a food served in small portions and traditionally accompanied by tea. The sun accounts for approximately 99.86% of the entire mass of the solar system. The chameleon can move its eyes independently, allowing it to have a 360-degree field of vision around its body. Sharks are immune to diseases such as cancer. In China, the Spring Festival is the most important holiday of the year, marking the start of the new lunar year, according to the Chinese calendar. The Oktoberfest in Munich, Germany, is the largest beer festival in the world, celebrated since 1810. In our solar system, the smallest planet is Mercury, which is about the size of the moon. The axolotl, a species of Mexican salamander, has the ability to regenerate parts of its body, including limbs, organs, and even parts of the brain. In Singapore, there is Jewel Changi Airport, which features the world's tallest indoor waterfall, surrounded by a garden of 5,000 species of plants and trees. The Lantern Festival in Taiwan is a traditional celebration where thousands of paper lanterns are released into the air to wish for good luck and celebrate the Chinese Lunar New Year. Tardigrades, also known as water bears, are extremely resilient microscopic creatures that can survive extreme conditions of temperature, pressure, and radiation. In Turkey, there is a structure known as the Cotton Castle, a series of white terraces and travertines filled with natural thermal pools. Extrasolar planets, or exoplanets, are planets that orbit stars outside our solar system. Death Valley in California, USA is one of the hottest places on the planet, with temperatures that can reach 56 degrees Celsius in summer. The emperor penguin is the tallest bird in the world, reaching up to 1.2 meters. On the Japanese island of Okinawa, there is a high proportion of centenarians compared to the rest of the world. This has been attributed to their healthy diet, active lifestyle, and strong community ties. Giant wave surfing has records of waves exceeding 24 meters in height. These huge waves are challenged by surfers at places such as Nazaré in Portugal and Jaws in Hawaii. Canada's national sport is ice hockey. The country is famous for its passion and success in this sport, both at professional and amateur levels. The Taj Mahal, one of the most famous monuments in the world, was built by Emperor Shah Jahan in memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal, who died during childbirth of their 14th child. The Devil's Bridge in France is a Roman bridge built over the Tarn River in southern France, known for its stone arch that seems to defy gravity. Chocolate was so highly valued in Mesoamerican cultures that the Aztecs used cocoa beans as currency. Lightning can strike the same location more than once. Places like the Empire State Building in New York can be hit multiple times during a storm. The world's tallest volcano is Ojos del Salado on the border between Chile and Argentina, with a height of approximately 6,893 meters above sea level. In the Maori culture of New Zealand, hongi is a greeting tradition in which two people press their foreheads and noses together. The first email message was sent by Ray Tomlinson in 1971. It consisted of the letters QWERTYUIOP. The bullfrog, native to the southeastern United States, is the largest frog species in North America, reaching lengths of up to 25 centimeters. The saguaro cactus, native to the Sonoran Desert in North America, can live up to 200 years and reach heights of up to 15 meters. Mount Everest, the world's tallest mountain, was first summited by Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay in 1953. The Moscow Kremlin in Russia is a fortified complex that includes palaces, cathedrals, and towers, and has been the political and historical center of Russia for centuries, where Vladimir Putin lives. The first book printed in the West using movable type was the Gutenberg Bible, printed by Johannes Gutenberg in 1455. The Mona Lisa has no visible eyebrows or eyelashes, which has led to speculation as to whether they were lost or deliberately omitted by Leonardo da Vinci. The International Space Station travels at a speed of about 17,400 miles per hour, completing one orbit around the Earth every 90 minutes. The chance of a person being struck by lightning at some point in their life is about 1 in 3,000. In Norway, there is a tradition called utepils, which means beer garden, and refers to the first beer one enjoys outdoors in the spring or summer. The first functional web search engine was called Archie and was created in 1990 by Alan Mtaj, a graduate student at McGill University in Montreal. The ancient board game Senet, played in ancient Egypt, is one of the oldest known board games, with boards and pieces dating back more than 5,000 years. In Hawaii, hula is a traditional dance that combines rhythmic gestures with chants and music to tell stories and preserve Hawaiian culture. The African elephant is the largest land animal in the world, reaching heights of up to 4 meters and weighing up to 7 tons. In Japan, there are themed cafes where you can interact with owls, cats, rabbits, and even hedgehogs while enjoying your drink. Chess is the sport played in the most countries around the world. The Coober Pedy region in Australia is known as the Underground City, where much of the population lives in underground caves due to the intense desert heat. The San Juan Fire Dance in Spain is a traditional celebration, marking the summer solstice with bonfires, music, and dancing in many Spanish communities. Dogs have a sense of smell at least 10,000 times more acute than that of humans. Birds of the genus Apus, such as the common swift, can sleep in flight. Their wings can be locked into position, and they can rest for hours while flying. South Africa is the only country in the world to have 3 capitals. Pretoria is the administrative capital, Cape Town is the legislative capital, and Bloemfontein is the judicial capital. In Scotland, the bagpipe is the traditional musical instrument and is used in many cultural and ceremonial celebrations. France is the most visited country in the world, with more than 89 million international tourists each year. Australia has an estimated kangaroo population of more than 50 million, exceeding the country's human population. The vampire squid is a deep-sea squid that has unique features such as cape-like fins and tentacles with membranes that look like a vampire cape. The Port of Singapore is one of the busiest and most efficient ports in the world, handling millions of containers each year. It is also known for its effective maritime traffic control system. The northernmost city in the world is Longyearbyen on the island of Spitsbergen, Norway, located about 1,300 kilometers from the North Pole. In the city of Breda, Netherlands, the Carnival of Princes is held annually, where children take over the city for 3 days. In Finland, there is a sport called the wife carrying race, where men compete by carrying their wives through an obstacle. The first successful vaccine in history was developed by Edward Jenner in 1796 for smallpox, using material from cowpox to immunize people. The Pacific island of Nauru was once the richest nation per capita in the world due to its vast phosphate reserves, but it now faces economic challenges following the dwindling of these resources. The dragon dance, an integral part of Chinese New Year celebrations, involves a group of people wielding a cloth dragon and making it dance through the streets to ward off evil and bring good luck. The musculature of octopuses is so complex that they can individually control each of their multiple arms. The Temple of Heaven in Beijing, China, was built using advanced engineering techniques that allow for perfect acoustics within the main structure, allowing a person to speak quietly at one point and be heard clearly at another opposite point. Stonehenge in England is a prehistoric monument made up of huge stones arranged in a circle. Leafcutter ant colonies are able to cut and carry leaves back to their nests to grow mushrooms as a food source. The largest plant in the world in terms of area covered is the pando, an aspen forest in Utah, USA, which, although it appears to be a forest of individual trees, is actually a single clonal organism connected by underground roots. The chameleon does not change color to blend in with its surroundings, but does so in response to emotions such as fear, anger, or attraction. Elephants are the only mammals that cannot jump due to the structure of their legs and the distribution of their weight. The storage capacity of an average smartphone today is greater than that of the supercomputers used on the Apollo 11 mission that took man to the moon. In 2006, Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet by the International Astronomical Union due to its size and orbit. Located on the border between Argentina and Brazil, Iguazu Falls is wider than Niagara Falls and is considered one of the most impressive waterfalls in the world due to its beauty and size. The Atacama Desert in Chile is considered the driest non-polar desert in the world. Some parts of this desert have not received rain in over 400 years. Giraffes have tongues up to 50 centimeters long and are black in color to avoid sunburn while feeding on tree leaves. Neurons in the human brain can send signals at speeds of up to 120 meters per second. In Japan, it is customary to take a relaxing bath in natural hot springs called onsen. Easter Island in Chile is famous for its huge stone statues called moai. Solar eclipses are events in which the moon totally or partially blocks the light of the sun from the Earth. Penicillin, the first antibiotic discovered, was found by chance by Alexander Fleming in 1928. The moon has visible craters on its surface due to asteroid and comet impacts over millions of years. Crocodiles can live up to 100 years in the wild. The bombardier beetle has the unique ability to squirt a hot, toxic liquid from its abdomen when it feels threatened. The first texting-capable mobile phone was released in 1993 by IBM and was called the Simon Personal Communicator. Kangaroos cannot jump backwards due to the structure of their legs and the way they swing. Polar bears are left-handed, meaning they prefer to use their left paw to catch prey. Owls can turn their heads up to 270 degrees due to their unique bone structure and the number of vertebrae in their necks. A snail's heart is located just behind its head and can beat up to 1,000 times per minute. The venom of the box jellyfish is one of the most poisonous in the world and can be fatal to humans. Human saliva has antibacterial properties that help protect teeth from infection. The Amazon rainforest is the largest tropical rainforest in the world, covering an area of approximately 6.7 million square kilometers. The Sistine Chapel in the Vatican, painted by Michelangelo, is famous for its frescoed ceiling depicting scenes from Genesis and the Last Judgment. Bamboo can grow up to 91 centimeters in a single day. The Statue of Liberty was a gift from France to the United States. Pablo Picasso's Guernica is a powerful depiction of the horrors of the Spanish Civil War and is considered one of the masterpieces of 20th century art. The nearest star to the solar system is Proxima Centauri, which is approximately 4.24 light-years away. Giraffes have the largest heart of any land mammal, weighing around 11 kilograms. Torres del Paine National Park, located in Chilean Patagonia, is known for its spectacular granite peaks, glaciers, and deep blue lakes. The Voyager 1 probe, launched in 1977, remains the farthest spacecraft from Earth and continues to transmit data from interstellar space. The military salute in most Western cultures originated as a sign of peace, showing that they were not holding weapons. In Japanese culture, the number 4 is considered unlucky because its pronunciation, shai, is similar to the word for death. The Icelandic language has changed very little since the Viking era, so Icelanders can read ancient texts with relative ease. The island of Tokelau in the South Pacific is one of the few territories in the world that does not have its own currency and uses exclusively the New Zealand dollar as its official currency. Sunflower plants follow the path of the sun during the day. The Patagonian larch can live for more than 3,000 years, making it one of the longest-lived trees in the world. Yellowstone National Park in the United States is the world's first national park, having been established in 1872. On average, a person walks about 185,000 kilometers in their lifetime, which is equivalent to walking around the Earth around the equator about 5 times. The Korean alphabet, called Hangul, was created by King Sejong in the 15th century as part of an effort to increase literacy. Honey does not spoil, as jars of honey have been found in Egyptian tombs that were still edible after thousands of years. Dragonflies spend up to 5 years in the larval stage before becoming adults. Humans grow a completely new layer of skin every 28 days. The first commercial jet flight occurred in 1952 with the British de Havilland Comet passenger plane. St. Patrick's Day, celebrated on March the 17th, is an Irish holiday that commemorates St. Patrick. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, with parades and green clothing. Tooth enamel is the hardest substance in the human body. In Iceland, about 80% of the energy used comes from geothermal sources due to volcanic activity on the island. The deepest part of the ocean is the Mariana Trench, with a depth of almost 11,000 meters. The Titanic had a library with more than 1,000 books for first-class passengers. Antarctica is the driest, coldest, and windiest continent on Earth. The shortest language in the world is Rotokas, spoken in Papua New Guinea, with only 11 letters in its alphabet. Quasars are active galactic nuclei that emit enormous amounts of energy and are the brightest and most distant objects in the observable universe. Neptune has atmospheric winds that can reach speeds of up to 1,305 miles per hour, the fastest in the solar system. Halley's Comet, one of the most famous comets, visits the inner solar system about every 76 years. In New Zealand, kiwis, both the bird and the New Zealanders who call them that, are known for being named after the country's native bird rather than the fruit. Italy has the most UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the world, with a total of 58 sites. Gravity on the surface of Jupiter is about 2.5 times stronger than gravity on the surface of Earth. The Canada-US border is the longest border without military patrols. The first electric light bulb lasted 40 hours before burning out, invented by Thomas Edison in 1879. In Japan, vending machines sell an incredible variety of goods, from food to used underwear. The Republic of Venice existed as an economic and political power for over 1,000 years, from the 8th century to 1797. In many Asian countries, such as Japan and South Korea, it is common to take off your shoes when entering a home as a sign of respect and cleanliness. The city of Venice, Italy, is built on an archipelago of 118 small islands connected by more than 400 bridges. Sushi, as we know it today, originated in Japan as a way to preserve fish with fermented rice. The Amazon River is the world's largest river in terms of water volume. The temperature inside a lightning storm can reach 3,000 degrees Celsius, 6 times hotter than the surface of the sun. The Tyrannosaurus rex was not the largest dinosaur, as that was the Argentinosaurus, which was around 35 meters long and weighed up to 100 tons. The Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, is one of the new 7 wonders of the modern world. The sun releases more energy in 1 second than humanity has consumed in its entire history. Cockroaches can live up to a week without their head because they do not need their mouth to breathe and obtain oxygen through small holes in their body. The world's first commercial computer was the UNIVAC Wing, created in 1951. The Titanic cost about $7.5 million to build at the time. The island of Iceland has over 130 active volcanoes due to its location on the tectonic plate boundary. In Thailand and Laos, festivals are held where rockets are launched into the air during planting season to attract rain and ensure a good harvest. The human body has about 37.2 trillion cells, but it has 38 trillion bacteria. The Sahara Desert in Africa is the largest hot desert in the world and is almost as big as the United States. Jupiter's moon Europa has a subsurface ocean beneath its ice shell, making it one of the potentially habitable places within our solar system. The Bermuda Triangle between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico is famous for the unexplained disappearance of ships and planes. Groundhog Day in the United States has its roots in the belief that if a groundhog sees its shadow on February 2nd, there will be 6 more weeks of winter. The temperature on Mercury's surface can range from negative 173 degrees Celsius at night to 427 degrees Celsius during the day. In ancient China, noble women painted their teeth black as a sign of beauty and status. Human kidneys filter about 180 liters of blood a day to produce about 1 or 2 liters of urine. The Hungarian language is known to be one of the most difficult languages to learn due to its complex grammar and because it belongs to a unique language family, unrelated to any other in Europe. Lake Baikal in Russia is the oldest lake in the world at 26 million years old, with a maximum depth of about 1.642 meters. Giraffes have only 7 vertebrae in their necks, just like humans, but each one is much longer. The Panama Canal is one of the largest engineering feats in history and connects the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific, saving ships a long journey around South America. The northern lights occur when charged particles from the solar wind collide with gases in the atmosphere, creating spectacular lights in the sky. In Namibia, there is an area known as the Skeleton Desert, where the remains of whales and other marine animals have been fossilized due to the sand and dry climate. The star Betelgeuse is a red supergiant that is in the final stages of its life and will eventually explode as a supernova. Noah's Ark, according to the Bible, was approximately 137 meters long, 23 meters wide, and 14 meters high. Surprisingly large, right? In 1519, Ferdinand Magellan led the first known expedition to circumnavigate the globe. Although Magellan died during the voyage, the expedition completed the circumnavigation of the globe under the command of Juan Sebastian Elcano in 1522. NASA's Cassini space probe discovered water geysers on Saturn's moon Enceladus, suggesting the possibility of a subsurface ocean. Leafcutter ants can clear more than 500 kilograms of leaves per year in their colonies. The Amazon River is so wide at some points that it is impossible to see the other side from the water. The Grand Canyon in Arizona, United States, is more than 1,800 meters deep in some places. The Antikythera machine was discovered in a shipwreck near the island of Antikythera in Greece. And that's all. What data surprised you the most? Leave us your opinion in the comments. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and give it a like so you don't miss any more great content.